on. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. Well, the first part of this episode is can you read lips? Because I literally did not have my mic turned on. I accidentally hit the mute button. Thanks, Hal. Appreciate that for having my back. So, welcome. I know, I just fixed it. Tell me now if that just fixed. If that just fixed. Well, it's live when you have the behind the scenes bloopers. Yes, I was constructing this. Hey, Bo. I was constructing this here contraption to hold my mic because I don't have one of those fancy mic like arm gadgets. So I used my tripod that I use for filming my stuff for my socials, and I constructed that. So if you're just doing now, perfect, because the first 3 minutes of this podcast is lip reading. You'll have to read my lips. Welcome to Behind the Layers podcast, Thursday's edition. I'm so excited to be back on here with you guys. There's a lot going on in this episode, probably because there's so many things since I've been on last, but we're going to try and cover all of them, or at least give our best go. But I hope everybody's doing well. Happy Thursday. Yeah, I'm sure you do. You're a musician, have many arm gadgets. But I hope everybody's had a great week so far. There's so many things going on, so many things. For those of you that have been doing the Magic Manifesto and you've missed some days or you don't know where to find where the posts are, if you're not following any of my socials, which you should be doing, go ahead and subscribe, like, or follow wherever you're watching this from. And you can go on to whatever search engine you use and type in The Magic by The Secret, because it's the same book. If you just type in The Magic, I'm not quite sure what would happen. I guess you could put The Magic Book, and it'll day by day. And there's somebody who has done this. It was back in 2012, but it's still the same because I cross-referenced it with the book that I have. So you can go on there and it has literally day by day what you're supposed to do. So this book is 28 days to manifest greatness, which means like 28 days, really it's about mindset. So 28 days, you reshift your mindset, you reshift your focus on your days. You're not doing anything else. You don't have to purchase anything, and there's no gimmicky things. It's literally just shifting your mindset, showing gratitude, and there's daily things that you do to supposedly from, a couple 100,000 people have manifested whatever it was that they wanted out of life. So it's very exciting. And why not try something that's free to do, right? And that could change your life and give you the absolute dream life that you had always wanted. So, whatever you're manifesting, whatever that is, let it come true in 28 days. You have to do 28 days. We're on day 6. So, day 6 is pretty much all about your work. So, it's saying, when you go into your job, or if you're in your job right now and you're watching this podcast, manifesting greatness through the job you already have, even if it's not your dream job or the job you're supposed to have, to be grateful and show gratitude in the job that you're in is how you're going to reach the what you're manifesting. Like, let's say you manifest having a food truck, right? And owning and operating a very successful food truck. But right now you're working in data entry or something like that. Be grateful, show gratitude for that data entry. Your manifesting journey is going to know that it knows that what you're trying to manifest is your greatness in the food truck business or whatever your manifestation is. But take that, hold it into all of everything that you really want is going to be radiating out of you, right? But in your current space, whatever you're doing, you have to manifest the greatness and gratitude in that space. So it's saying for today's manifesto, yesterday was all about money, today is about your work. It's saying imagine that there is this is what I'm saying, like going into a childlike thing, like using your imagination for imaginary friends or something like that. So You like that food truck idea. But, so imagine there's like a little imaginary manager guy. That's what it says in the book. Literally, it says, imagine there's a little imaginary manager that's following you around and only documenting everything that you say that's positive about your job. So only the positive things. At the end of your day, you want that list, that imaginary manager list, to be so long that you can't believe it. So even for the smallest things, like I'm grateful that I even have a job. So many people don't have a job. That's going on the list. I'm grateful that I have this working computer because it sure would make my life a lot harder at my job for data entry if I didn't. Stuff like that. Like, I'm grateful there's a bathroom here and I don't have to go find one outside of work or dig a hole or find an outhouse, that kind of thing. Gratitude for the little things and your little imaginary manager. It says it in the book. I'm not making up imaginary manager part. It literally says imagine there's an imaginary manager following you around and writing down all of these things. So at the end of your day, you want to be able, and for some people reached out to me that have done this process before and literally manifested anything that they had their mindset on. It has come to fruition. It's crazy. It's wild. So why not give it a go, right? So, so some people write it down, like put it in their phone as a text. Like if they're doing something like, oh, I'm so grateful that this is here for me this helps cut my time in half. A computer, pencil, a plethora of pens, or whatever you need, post-it notes, whatever is at your work, whatever you have, outlets, energy, electricity, lights, all the things. Writing it down is showing and putting that vibration around you, that good positive energy, that good vibrating energy. And for the law of one of one, the laws of attraction is putting it out there for one and bringing it back one. The only thing I don't understand in this book, right, is that it says for every one negative thing that you say about something, it might have been just in regards to relationships. This was the day on relationships, like manifesting peace within relationships that have been broken, or manifesting to rebond those things. So it could have been just for that, but it said for every one negative thing you say about that particular relationship or that person, it takes 10 blessings to counteract that. So I'm not sure how the one for one, you know, translates there, but just staying positive is pretty much how it is. Like staying positive. It's so easy for people to get negative, Bo, on the things that are going on in the world today. So staying positive and saying, you know what, I'm just grateful that I have this. I'm grateful that I have that. So each day, though, is dedicated to something in particular. So today's manifesto, and if you didn't catch the rest of them, you can either go on my socials and check out from day one and start from day one, or you can go on whatever your search engine and look up the magic book day by day, and it will tell you the day by days of what you're supposed to do. I mean, you're supposed to have like a magic manifesting rock, and like there's a lot of stuff. Yesterday we had to write on a dollar bill, or a little post-it on a dollar bill. I just wrote straight up on the dollar bill. But so if anyone surfaces and gets that dollar bill, you're welcome, but I have so today is the imaginary person that's following you around to write down, which I think you should just put it in your phone, because it would be good to look back and be like, okay, on a time when you're starting to be negative at work again, because it's saying that if you put that positive energy into whatever you're doing in the moment, then what you truly want to do will manifest itself out of from the gratitude that you were putting out. For me, everybody's different. You don't have to believe in God, but for me, I talk to God and say, I'm so sorry that I have neglected or not seen the good in, the things that I was complaining about before. And it is so wild that the things that you take for granted, or, you're complaining about, rather than seeing the beauty in, how it really does change your mindset for your day when you actually start to show gratitude. It's almost like, I don't know if you've ever had a plant and you were out of town or something happens, like, or you just got busy and you neglected it at all. For those of you that know me, that's like the plethora of my plants, but I've been much better now. But it's the same, like giving it a little water, giving it a little love, how it bounces back and truly changes. And it's the same kind of grace for your everyday life of giving gratitude to, literally everything that you have so you can gain more of what you want rather than saying negative things and then saying it being like, okay, so you don't appreciate that. Well, how about I take more away from you? How about that? How about that now? It's like strong arming you. Like, oh, you're not going to be grateful for this. So in the book, every morning you're supposed to wake up and do 10 things that you are great, like before you even get your day started. As soon as your eyes are open and you're getting ready for your day, or like your brain is starting to wake itself up, you're still in that space between awake and your conscious and subconscious, which is a very rare space to be while you're actually awake. You're still in that space. So that's when you can amplify your gratitude and really amplify the things that you are grateful for. So you wake up and you either write it down. I've been kind of just like saying it out loud, but write like not out loud, but in my head, the things that 10 new things that you're grateful for, and thank you after each one before you even start your day. So you're starting your mindset off with the gratitude that of the beautiful things in your life. Even if you feel like you have none, you've got some. If you've got 2 legs, you got something. If you've got 2 arms, you got all your fingers on all your toes and your feet and your brain that's fully functional. Like there's so many blessings that we have that we take for granted each day. And I know we are all faulty of it. That's why we're all sinners in God's eyes, because we're all human. We're just human, right? We're just human. But this is about, trying to change that mindset and changing your life. Change your life by changing your mindset. That's pretty much what the book boils down to. But we're on day 6, and I wanted to share that with you because I don't think I posted day 6 last night. So if I do forget, make sure you go onto your search engine and just type in The Magic Book day by day, and it will give you all the days, 28 days. It's supposed to be 28 days to greatness. And some people have already written out to me and told me about some great things that have already happened and how much they like despised work. And I really liked reading that this morning about they just couldn't stand work. They couldn't stand the people they were working with. And then they started doing this journey when we started on the 1st, and how amazing it's been to actually feel refreshed going in and not feel like, oh my gosh, this is so daunting. I can't believe I have to go spend the whole day with blah, blah, blah. Just like, wow, already a big changeover just from changing your mindset. And she got some type of like promotion, or not promotion, like big promotion, but she got some kind of raffle or something at work too. She's like, I never win anything. This is crazy. So I do appreciate you sharing that, Donna. But okay, so we're gonna dive into some more topics. I know you guys know about all the stuff going on, surely, with the Blake Lively and Baldoni case. But I just find that it is so interesting to see that hold on, to see that people are, at first, before getting the whole scoop, of course, I don't know if you know what this book is about, but the book is about, it's about being mistreated in relationships, kind of like people that are, being hurt or abused, whether it's like physical or sexual or mental abuse in a relationship. So the book is actually a pretty deep subject. And it's crazy. It's crazy to even like go down just the manipulation of the media and how things are portrayed. And it just goes to show. So this man Baldoni is like, since we're talking about manifesting and manifesting greatness, it's like when you live when you're living your days of being positive and being an enlightening spirit and doing things the right way and being, just being a good person in general to your core, how much that radiates and what will come back your way. Like, this is a pretty big defamation of character of being accused for your movie that you're directing and producing. It's called This Ends With Us, and it's based off of a book about bad relationships. And aw, thanks, boys. Thank you. I appreciate that. So it's a book off of, relationship traumas. And so he wanted to really shed some light because Baldoni has a podcast about the support as a man of feminism. He's a feminist, like, through and through. And so it's really ironic that I don't know if Blake Lively didn't know that about him or didn't know that he already had this huge following. He's a director, producer, and actor, but he started this podcast. I don't know if she didn't do her research before she, like, went out there and threw out all these allegations, but he's like, "I have receipts," and they created an entire website. But since we're talking about, they created an entire website with all of the, like, back and forth exchanges between Blake Lively um, and Ryan Reynolds, which, you guys, I know a lot of men love freaking Ryan Reynolds and his movies and think that he's so cool, but I've heard such, like, celebrities and people coming out talking about how he's really not funny in person and he's kind of like a sociopath. I was like, "Oh, wow." They're throwing around sociopath and, like, control, like a super, like, psychotic control freak. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I do have to say we're talking about manifesting and we're talking about, the greatness coming back to you. Like, this is a pretty big deal to live your life in positivity and kindness, and everyone that talks about this man Baldoni and all the greatness that he's put out into the world, he's getting it back by exposing the truth on people trying to defy his character in the way that she said happened, which calling him like a sexual predator and, a sexual harassment on set type of thing. So thankfully, like, all the people he's has seen his spirit and watched him on a daily on the set, I was like, no, that's absolutely not true. They're just trying to take Blake and Ryan Reynolds are just trying to take this movie from him because they realized what a box office hit it was going to be. And yeah, it's a big debacle, and it's almost like, God's good graces. You're a good person. You're putting good out in the world, and evil's trying to take over. So God's standing with him and on his side, and people are rallying now for him. And it's like it's crazy. It is almost like one of those slow motion train wrecks that you just can't like, you don't even wanna blink because you don't wanna miss what's about to happen because you can't even your eyes can't even believe it. It's been one of those types of things, but now that we're, like, 6 days deep into this manifesting book, I'm like, "Wow," and this guy is very big on he had a podcast about feminists, being a feminist, like, his whole podcast is about feminism, and she's like, "Oh, no, he's a male chauvinist, what pig or whatever, and sexual harassment and blah." Like, if you listen to it, it's like Yoda talking, and so and then they come out with this whole thing. Ryan Reynolds wrote the end, and I saw the newest Deadpool that was out, Deadpool and Wolverine, and I saw it, I was like, "What is happening?" I'm so confused as to who this new character is they introduced. They introduced, like, Nice Pool and a guy that came out with a man bun on his head and, like, so super nice and overly kind, and then Blake comes in with her big ponytail, and, like, it was so weird at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. If you guys haven't seen it, you have to just at least go look up the clip, the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. I was like, "What's happening?" And now it Ryan wrote that into Deadpool Wolverine to make fun of Justin Baldoni, or whatever his last name is. I was like, "Oh, wow, he went to that extent." Like, it's really wild, you guys. Like, seriously. Anyway, it tied into the manifesting thing because this man's been manifesting positivity and all of the greatness in his life and treating people. He said people on the set were like, "This is the only movie set where I've actually, or yeah, movie set where I've actually felt like seen." He would come over as a director and a producer. They don't normally even pay you attention. He would come over and, like, shake their hands and thank them for their day and ask them if they needed anything or if they had any feedback. And, he was just really involved and engaged and grateful. Right. So it all came down to the gratitude. So he's sown so much gratitude and kindness into the weave around him that it's almost all this negativity and all this badness that's coming at him at a very rapid rate from mega celebrity stars, and it's backfire. It's like like slingshotting, right? He's woven this, he's manifested this such a thick, beautiful weave of protection around him that it's just firing right back as soon as it's coming towards his way. It's like getting back to whomever's throwing it. It's really cool. It's really cool to watch because you think like, oh my gosh, I'm going against Taylor Swift and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. How am I going to defy this? But the proof is in the pudding. So he and his team created a website full of all the text messages. You can literally see the chain of text messages and emails and correspondence back and forth, and see that it is all it's all right there, that the actual people that are bullying and being strong armed and all of the things is Justin Baldoni. So good for him for living a life of, manifesting such positivity to where he probably had no clue in a million gazillion years that that web he had been weaving is going to save him from total destruction and the loss of everything that he's ever worked so hard for. So you never know what manifesting greatness is going to bring your way. I mean, he does have like a $400 million lawsuit against them for defamation of character. It's pretty big deal to be called a freaking sexual predator when you live your life as a feminist man who has supported women in the biggest way. And if you read his messages back to Blake, it's like, oh my gosh, you're beautiful the way you are. Don't worry about your body. I know you just had a baby. He's just like so uplifting and loving. And so for the fact that she did something so deviant and disgusting is really, you know what? You reap what you sow. So now they're talking about jail time for Blake Lively. It's crazy, you guys, the whole thing. But back to manifesting greatness. You never know, just by living your life in gratitude, being thankful for those around you that help you out or being in your life in any kind of way. Look, you never know how it's going to come back and help you to win a case. Let's see, what is his name? Baldoni. Whether it be small or big. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, yep, Taylor Swift is involved. And oh my gosh, it's so crazy. It's so wild, you guys. He might even sue Taylor, which would be huge because now that she's a billionaire, this could be life-changing for him as anyone else. So manifest that greatness, and you never know how it's going to come back to you. So here's what we're going to go into. I don't know if any of you guys have had this sickness or got sick this year with the flu. The flu is on a rampage, and it is not the same type of flu that it was before, because this flu is an emerged bigger flu. I hardly ever get any kind of shot. Like, I don't get the flu shot or anything like that, because my immune system's very strong, and I always like to get the antibodies to it. So I barely get the full version of anything. Like, my body is just, ironclad. But yeah, it wasn't, so I wasn't like throwing up and sick like that, like my daughter was, but it was just like feeling nauseous and extremely exhausted. It was like having the first strand of COVID. I don't know if any of you guys got that, but that first strand of COVID was like, it felt like somebody had drugged me and I couldn't get out of bed. Like, literally, I was exhausted, headaches, that kind of thing. Wasn't anything past that. I mean, of course, I'm in great health and I'm not past 60. So I know that those people are more in jeopardy than us in our 40s that have good health. But yeah, it was brutal. But here's what is going on now. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. So let me go over here. It says, as a 66, no. What is this? So this is what was happening with the exposed. So the risk factor for this H5N1, which is the bird flu, which is the new one that's like been going around kind of rampant through the schools. Some schools have had to shut down because everybody's immune system is just crap. And especially if you do not take enough vitamin D. Vitamin D is the thing that will keep you. Vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C on a daily basis. I take those like in the summertime, I don't take as much vitamin D because I'm outside getting it myself. But if you are not taking that, and your kids too, they have the vitamin D and zinc combo in like gummies or chewables, and they're on sale often at like CVS or Walgreens. I don't know what you have in your area, but these things are so important, especially during the winter time, because if you're low in vitamin D or zinc, then you're more susceptible to get all of the stuff that's going around. And so it like ransacked through. That's why so many kids get sick in the wintertime. And that's why there's like, 'tis the season, for all the flus and stuff, because so many people are deficient in vitamin D. It really comes down to vitamin D and zinc. And some people are iron deficient, but vitamin D played a huge role in COVID, played a huge role in the flu. So this one is talking about just that. Let's see. The risk factor for this is for people that the bird flu. So people who work with animals, such as farms, zoos, veterinary hospitals, people like that are higher at risk if they're exposed to the infected animals and don't have like a particular proper stuff on to protect themselves. People who are older or have chronic health conditions are higher at risk. Let's see, people are exposed to the infected animals without proper protective. It seems like 1 and 3 are pretty much the same. It says what you can do is get the seasonal flu shot if you believe in shots. I haven't taken any of the shots and I've been just fine. If I caught it, it wasn't hardly anything other than like exhaustion. But avoid raw milk and raw milk products. I'm not sure what that means with raw milk. I assume milk is milk, is it not all raw? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just saying avoid milk and raw, or maybe it just means raw, like straight up out of the udder. Maybe like that's what it means by raw. I'm actually never even heard it term used like that. Avoid contact with wild birds and sick or dead animals. So, no cooking roadkill tonight, you guys, if you want to stay away from the bird flu. So H5N1 is widespread in wild birds and caused outbreaks in poultry and dairy cows because these birds, are like pooping on the grass and stuff, and then the animals are eating them. So it's pretty much saying like staying away from meats, poultries, and like any kind of meats and dairy until this passes, because it's coming through the animals that are eating the seed or the feed or the grass from and has been pooped on by these wild birds that are carrying this disease. So, not to be so graphic, but there have been a few human cases of H5N1 in 2024, including one fatal case in Louisiana. So that's one person, and I am so sorry for your loss there, you guys. Not to discredit one person passing not being a big deal. The virus is adapting to new hosts, including cows, which increase the risk of a human pandemic, obviously for everyone that eats meat. But I mean, what are these farmers to do, right? They got to go out and like rinse all the grass off before the cows eat the grass. I mean, that's kind of what it the only way you could deflect it, I'm assuming. But there are pictures of like a tons of like sickly looking cows like foaming at the mouth. It's actually really disgusting. But CDC is monitoring the situation closely and working with states to monitor people who have been exposed to the animals. So it's wild. Let's see. Is it going to cause a pandemic is what people are asking. Virus has the potential to cause a pandemic, but the risk is currently considered low. However, the risk is increasing as the virus adapts to new hosts and spreads amongst more animals. So they're saying that the flu shot can help aid against that, but you know, they don't know because it keeps adapting. Like here it says adaptation to new hosts. The virus is adapting to mammals like cows, which could increase the risk of infecting humans. The virus genome must acquire mutation that alter its proteins. Current risk in humans, they consider the risk low. So that's that. The risk is low thus far. But if you really want to just avoid it altogether, then you're just going to avoid eating dairy and poultry and all of that for now until it all passes over, which it will. Good rain and get the birds up out of here, because the birds apparently aren't living very long anyway because they've got this virus. So, it, as the good Lord says, this too shall pass. You just stay as healthy as you can. Vitamin D, vitamin C, some zinc. I'm all about that holistic approach here. So, trying to tell you, if you put vitamin D3, I think I take 10,000 units or 10,000 something. Let me just look it up before I am having a little perimenopause brain fog. So, what dosage of vitamin D? Dosage of vitamin D should you take each day? I mean, it really does boil down to just taking something so simple like this can help. What is it? So this says no, this one says 2,000 IU's per day. There it is. That's it. D3, 10,000 for the week, or 2,000 IU's per day. So it'll say it on the bottle that you get. I have one that is 10,000 IU's, and that keeps me from getting sick. Vitamin D3 through this winter time. I take that with my zinc and my vitamin C, and I'm telling you, even when I'm sick, it's not to the fullest extent. I'll just feel like, like a little icky, or I'll just feel like tired or exhausted because my body is literally like full force army war going on inside. But on the outside, like, I don't feel bad. I don't look sick. I just am so exhausted because, full out war inside. But if you don't want to go down that route where you're freaking laid up, throwing up, getting all the symptoms, nose won't stop running, head is pounding. I did have a headache, but not like severe. It wasn't migraine-ish, But if you want to do that, then I definitely feel like, thank you, Bo, that I definitely feel like going down something simple. And to get the vitamin D3, 10,000 IU's is like, I don't know, $15 maybe for 120 tablets, something like that. Not a lot to keep you from not getting sick. If you're someone who doesn't like to put foreign shots in your body, which is me, I don't take any medications. I don't do any shots of any sort. I am strictly healthy by way of food and vitamins. That is it. That's it. And I am around sick kids. I go and volunteer at the school, and those kids will be dripping snot. It's disgusting. Sorry to any moms that are watching this right now. But the kids will literally like be snot, just like, I'm like, oh, honey, you need to, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. If you feel snot running down your face, kids, little ones, you gotta wipe it. You can't just like let it hang out. It's gross. So I can see how everything spreads real quickly there because it gets a little out of control. But teachers, they're doing what they can. They got packed, stuffed classrooms that have too many kids in it, and they're trying their best, and they're trying to teach, and they can't just keep walking around and wiping everybody's nose for them. You got to teach your kids how to wipe their own nose throughout the day. And for the love of God, sneeze into your elbow. It's so easy, It was even like a big craze on like TikTok or Instagram, dabbing. Dabbing was a thing. I know, mine just made my teenagers cringe. But sneeze in your elbow, and then you're not sneezing in your hands and then touching everything with that, all the virus and the bacteria and the junk that's on your hands, and then touching it. Like, that's kindergarten 101, okay? Just throwing that out there for you guys. All right. So, we're moving on to, let me see what this was. Whoops. I shared the wrong screen. Hold up. So, the top news, let me share this one. Let me share it. Change it up. Whoops. So the top news that I was reading through, which I thought was very interesting. Oh, my bad. Where'd you go? Was this. Okay. we have in 2025, I thought this was very interesting, expect more employers to implement wellness programs focused on preventing obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. We'll see a bigger push toward encouraging regular health screenings to detect and manage chronic conditions early to find cost effective medication management strategies. Okay, see here? I don't know if you can see me highlight this. Medication management strategies is a no. You guys, you don't need to take medication to heal, you got restless leg syndrome because you sit all day and do data entry. All you got to do is get up and stretch your body out. Maybe go for a little walk to the bathroom, to the water cooler, come back. Maybe do some up downs, just standing up, sitting back down, standing up, sitting back down. I've got a lot of chair exercises and stretches on my channel. Go to at Kara Chris TV on YouTube. If you're not there already, please do subscribe, whatever platform you're on. I have most of my stuff up on YouTube. I'm still downloading, uploading, putting more things out on YouTube from my other socials. So that can be like a catch-all place to go. But that's at Kara Chris TV. Go there and subscribe. It's free. There are plenty of quick little hallway chair workouts that you can do, or stretches that you can do to keep yourself from getting all of these things like back problems, tightening of your lower back, restless leg syndrome, getting sciatica, shooting nerves, poor circulation. When you're sitting like that for that long in a 90-degree angle, it's not good for you. Your body isn't meant to sit like that. And I'm trying not to knock this stand over. Your body isn't meant to sit like that. I can't even sit like that for 2 hours on this podcast without moving around and adjusting, because your body is just not meant to sit like that for that long. So you don't need, I do really find it fantastic that they're saying expect more employers to implement wellness programs focused on preventing obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. I'm hoping that those wellness programs, though, that we're going to start implementing in 2025 are going to be catered to, hey, I know you've been sitting for, 2 hours now, or maybe like, they do every 4 hours, you could take a 15-minute break or something like that. Something like that. Like every 2 hours, get up. They do this. I saw somebody post this on some kids in other countries. They have someone come into the classrooms when they've been sitting for long periods of times. These are the like younger grade school classes that don't switch around yet. They're not going like from period to period, like switching from class to class. They have someone come in and literally direct them in exercise. So from their seats, or sometimes they'll just stand up and do stretches like hands in the air and hands to the floor, hands in the air, hands to the floor. But they'll do these exercises where they're like banging on the tables, and then they're like punching in the air and doing all this stuff. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant, because you're not meant to sit for that long, and it's hard to control your class when everybody starts getting, you know, anxious and like energy spurts, and they're like ready to move, and then they're not paying attention, and then the teachers are getting frustrated and all this stuff. So I was like, brilliant. So when I read this last night, when I was doing my research on what the podcast was going to be today, and I read this, that they're going to implement this at workplaces, I think they should move that along into schools. What do you guys think? I think that they should move it along into the schools. Like I've seen videos in some other countries where they have someone come in and they're like, okay, and they put music on, and it's like 5 minute just all out punching and slamming the table and standing up and reaching the sky and touching the ground, and it's like bum, 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 woo, 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 woo. It was like this whole thing they were doing. I was like, oh, I love this idea. I really hope they do something like that in the schools. And it makes sense, because now that they got their jitters out and it's fun and they're all doing it together at the same time, so they're really into it. It's like stuff like that is so great for their morale, for them to get it, and then they can calm back down and focus on their studies. I don't know if you guys have seen this on it's either, I don't know, one of the shorts. They're all seeing the same now, because you can flip through like the shorts. I don't know if it's Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or which one it is, or Twitter or I'm sorry, TikTok. But it was on there and I was like, perfect. So when they said this about the implementing the thing in the work program, they caught me with that part. But then when it came down to the bottom part right there, you guys, where it says finding a way to find cost-effective medication management strategies, I was like, oh heck no. No. I thought what you were saying was we're gonna start going into the space of getting this microphone's starting to look real weird right now. Going into the space of getting coworkers or workers in your job. I know some big companies do that, like they have like festive days or whatever where they come in and it's like just to break up the morale of your work week, and I love that. What's the shoe companies? Zappos. I don't know if that's the name of it, something like that. But they were doing that, and it was like supposed to be one of the best rated workplaces of all workplaces because of this strategy they implemented for their workers to come in like throughout the week. Though it would be like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday, just randomly just to break the week up. I thought that was so great. So I'm hoping for all of you people out there that are listening, or maybe you're at work and you're want to put a little comment card into the boss saying, hey, every few hours, how about we can get up 15 minutes? 4 minute to bottle workouts, you guys. I'm on it with that. Go to my YouTube page at Kara Chris TV and subscribe. And then you can see anytime I post, I'm still uploading videos there, but I'm going to upload all the videos I have on that kind of stuff, which is like getting a quick hallway workout, stairwell workout, parking lot workout, wherever you want to do it. It's 4 minutes. It's all out. It gets your circulation going. It gets all the blood moving, oxygen moving through your body in all the right places. Or you just want to stretch because your back's tightening up, or your legs or your knees are starting to hurt, like your joints are starting to hurt, your hips are feeling out of place. These are something that you can do. Don't go down the friggin' cost-effective medication management strategy that it's listed right there. No, that's not what you're trying to be about. 2025 is your year of greatness and your year of being in the best health that you've ever been in. And that starts with simple little tips and tricks that you tweak in your daily agenda, which is like when you're eating in your window and staying tight in your window and that kind of, you know, substituting out something that was unhealthy for something healthy. Like maybe you still have chips, maybe you try pork rinds, or maybe you try to do those recipes where they take cheese and put little dollops of cheese on a cookie sheet and bake it in the oven and make little, cheese crisps that are keto and that are, it's just there's so many recipes out there for eating healthy, little substitutions, little tricks that you can do, and just getting on a better regime for your health, and your mental will start to change, especially if you're doing the intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is allowing your body to process all that food that has already been put in there. So even if you're starting in a 12-hour fasting window and you're eating for 12 hours, like it's really a simple start. You don't even have to change anything that you're eating to start. You could just change the amount of time that you're eating. That is so simple to do. It may take a little of effort if you're just used to throwing food and you might forget, like, oh crap, I wasn't supposed to eat yet. So you do have to, a lot of people that I have worked with in the past, clients, they put reminders on their phone to let them know, okay, you only got 1 hour left and then you can eat. Like just a reminder not to eat. You're not eating yet. If you're trying to break the pattern of, okay, I need to eat as soon as I get up. Most people aren't really hungry when they first get up. But if that's your window and you're not really hungry at night, then shift your window to eating in the morning. And then your last meal is like a big late lunch or something like that. And then you're not eating dinner, you're not eating again until that morning meal. So it depends on what your body works best with your body, but having that time for it to do all that it needs to do. It needs to process all that food that you've already put in there. It's got a lot of, UPS, Amazon shipping packages inside your body. We just got to get all of those things to where they need to go. B, once it's done with that, now it can work on the ailments. Now it can work on, okay, you got some inflammation over here. Let me go soothe that. Okay, you got some aches over here. Let me go soothe that. So then it starts its next job, which is that. And then the third process of it is actually doing cell regeneration and and full healing, gut biodome resets, that kind of thing. So it's very intriguing when you learn about what's going on inside of your body hour by hour. But if you're just keep putting food back in there, now it has to take a break on what it was doing that was positive inside of your body and then go and shuffle through all those packages that you just sent down the chute, if that makes sense. You'll know I'm a mom by how I explain things. It's like I break it all down to where little brains can understand. But I'm not saying you guys have little brains. I'm talking about 5 and 6 year olds. So anyway, that is so important to do intermittent fasting. That's part of your journey. This thing right here is so good. Maybe if you can every 2 hours at your workplace, get up and take a 10-minute hiatus to whether you're stretching or maybe you're going on a brisk little walk. Maybe you have stairs. You want to try and go up and down those stairs. Something active to get your body moving, get that circulation moving. So therefore, like I've seen some people that have reached out to me that they send me that they go like walk around their building twice and then go back and sit back down. Like anything like that, because now you're getting your circulation moving and now that blood and all of the you're not sitting there getting lactic acid buildups, which cause pain, and you're not getting inflammation from sitting weird for too long. A lot of people don't sit with great postures, and you're not sitting there like perfect postured all throughout the day. You're slouching over, so you're killing your rhomboids. That's the muscles that run from the back of your neck all the way to the top of your buttocks. That muscle can get really overworked, especially at the bottom where they're little tiny part of your muscle, and you're asking it to do so much work. So now you're just working on injury rather than working on fixing the problem. And you don't need a medication for that. You just need to get up and start moving. So don't fall down that trap. Just words of wisdom. I mean, I'm only have um, professionalism in fitness, wellness, nutrition, so, you don't have to take your advice from me, but I would highly suggest not getting on prescription anything because you can heal yourself from the inside out with simple movements, and it does not take a whole lot. You don't have to go fit in a 30-minute workout. You literally can just go for 5 minutes, go on a quick walk, maybe do some stretching, like palms out, like stretched up, rotations, like stretching up to the sky, hands all the way up, hands all the way down, like any kind of twisting in your chair, like this, like, oh, just like stretching that lower back, getting some good back twists in, just standing up and reaching up to the sky, and then palms all the way out behind you like this and head up to get that stretch in that neck, because these neck band muscles start coming tight, and then your muscles that are across your chest right here start to get tight, and then your muscles right here in your shoulders from slouching over, sitting down like this, and it all tightens up. And then what's happening in the back is that you're getting inflammation in your vertebrae because now you're sitting weird. So it's restricting because your vertebrae should be on top of each other like this, right? But then you squishing it and restricting it. See where my knuckles are touching? So now you're cutting off all of the blood and the oxygen and um the blood and the oxygen and the fluids between each of those vertebrae that you need for it to be healthy and to keep going strong. So if you don't take some time to sit up all the way straight, reach up to the sky and reach out like this, like all the way out. See, my palms are all the way open. Reach all the way out and open and across the chest. And so now you're getting a good stretch all the way from your tendons, all the way up that forearm, cross that bicep up to your shoulders, your rotator cuffs. You're rotating those outward, just sitting there at your chair, rotating those outward like that. And then getting that deep stretch across your chest and in your neck. So none of that tightens up, so you don't start getting, your hands. Some people's hands you'll get carpal tunnel or start to get arthritis or bad pains, and your hands will start to curl up if you don't do that, because you're so used to staying clenched and either on your phone or typing on a computer, and you're just like clenched up the whole time. Your tendons draw in. You have to take the time, even if you're just sitting there like this and taking your fingertips and pressing them together to really stretch. I know musicians, my sister's a musician. She does this quite often when she's playing because, she stays like tight in the guitar, like strumming the guitar. Those stay tight. Playing the piano, her fingers stay tight. Same thing. It's the same concept with data entry or working on a computer or whatever. Taking your fingers, pressing them together like this, trying to press them as hard as you can, holding it for maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds size is ideal. 5 seconds and then shaking it out to get all that blood that you just rushed to the area. You get all that blood right there and then you just shake it out like that, shake it out, and then do it again. So do that 4 or 5 times to really stretch those tendons out, and then do those wide open stretches like I showed you. Just going all the way open like this, just circling back, head back, really stretching those neck, and then same thing, like folding forward and hunching your back over like, full turtle back, and then all the way back open again, just really spreading out that vertebrae and getting all of that goodness in between the vertebrae, letting those, when you stretch like that, when you're going, they call it the cat cow, when you stretch over and then arch your back, you're hunching over and then arch your back. You're really getting a good amount of blood flow and oxygen, taking deep breaths. When you're coming here and blowing all out, when you're leaning all the way over, you're getting such a good spatial awareness between your vertebrae, and it really does help with any inflammation you already have in your discs, in between your discs, getting that blood flow, getting that those juices in there, that oxygen in there where you need it the most, so you can stay out of injury zone. Don't do what this says and going down the medication route. No. That's not what you're about. You can do it. I promise. So it says, what are the health trends in 2025? Health trends in 2025 are expected to include more personalized care, self-care, all about that hashtag self-care, improved success to medical services, and increased use of technology. Let's see. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like that says AI all up in there. I feel like it says AI all up in there. More personalized care, I think is great, but improved access to medical services. Well, hopefully that means more people are going to be able to access medical services, but the increased use of technology. So I don't know if you guys caught the podcast I had that was about medical experts. They were just talking about, it wasn't more of a meeting almost, but it was recorded, and it was a meeting with all these medical experts in their field talking about the new 2025 rollout for the medical industry. And it was quite intriguing. I was pretty shocked about how much they spoke about AI and how in the medical industry is going to be more AI run. Like, I don't know if you guys know the story about my saga of, I should do it like a whole documentary of the meta saga, getting lost in the metaverse. But my Instagram, which I don't even know how I still have my Instagram right now, because now Instagram and Facebook are connected. But I think because my Instagram is connected to 2 of my Facebook accounts, one of them has been deactivated because someone hacked it, right? They shut me down. So I was reaching out to them. They finally were like, okay, send me a video of, literally, this is what it was. Send me a video of the number that I sent to your email. There's a number in your email, a collection of 6 numbers. Write those 6 numbers down on a piece of paper. You have to move the piece of paper left and right with all your 6 numbers on it, right? This is the video you have to take. And you have to take it yourself. No one else can take the video. It says you have to take the video yourself, which was very strange. So it's saying move the paper left and right while you're moving your head. It's kind of like one of those things where you pat your head and rub your belly at the same time. I was like, oh, okay, so what? So you have to move the paper back and forth. This is if you want to get back. If this is how they verify your identity, if you want to get back into your Facebook account, if you got hacked or locked out. You can't just do a reset password. I tried to reset the password. I did the 2FA, which is the authentication through the app. I did it through my phone. I did it through my email, and I passed all those with flying colors. But then when I went to get in, it kept saying invalid. I don't know. So then they said that you have to do this video. That's what the premise that I'm talking about for those of you that just joined. I saw some people just joined. So you write the 6 letters on the piece of paper. You have to move it back and forth, left and right. And then you have to move your head up and down and left and right at the same time that you're moving the paper left and right. You have to move your head in a particular type of way, and it tells you exactly. Because I was just moving my head all over the place. I was so aggravated. I was like, come on, let's just get this done. Sent it in. No, denied. I was like, wait, what? So then I did it again. I said, it boldly wrote me back the metaverse in my email and said, read the directions and follow exactly. I was like, okay, ouch. So I read it and said, while moving the paper left and right, move your head up, down, then left, then right while you're moving your paper left and right. So here I get another code, doing it here, left and right, trying to move my head, trying to remember left and right while my arms are going left and right. Thank goodness I'm ambidextrous and I'm capable of left and right brain at the same time. But I was like, this is ridiculous. Sent that in, denied. I was like, what? You have to be kidding me. Then 4 more times with this stinking video, all denied. Not me. So I can't get back in. So they're sending, they said, okay, send me a picture of your ID. Okay. I sent them a picture of my ID, holding my ID with the date on a piece of paper with the ID, and then scanning the ID because they wrote me back and said, don't stand in the picture with the ID. Just take a picture of your ID. So it took a picture of the ID. They wrote me back, denied. It's blurry. And then they gave me no other option to resend it. They said, you can't respond to this email. I was like, what? So finally, I was I was like, all right, I need to speak. What's happening here? This isn't happening, blah, blah, blah. So I was speaking to somebody else that had worked in Facebook, and they said that Facebook is run by 71% of AI. So I was like, oh, well, I just need to keep requesting to speak to a human. And I never respond. Every time I'm like, please, can I speak to a human? This is ridiculous. I've been locked out of my main Facebook account for a month now. And I've done all the videos. So then the first time I wrote them, they said, no, you need to do a video. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I already did 6 videos. I need to speak to a human. So I keep going. I need to speak to a human. And there's no response when I say that. I need to speak to a human. And then I did have a write back saying that AI is running 71% of Facebook and the Meta. So it makes, long story longer, it makes me nervous to hear that in 2025 the medical industry is going to go into mostly database AI run to be efficient. I'm like, "Oh, no." Like, because of the situation I'm experiencing right now with what's going on with the metaverse not letting me in to my own account, with me sending them video of me and then sending pictures of my ID, everything, and still not being able to get in, it makes me worried for the future of the medical industry if this is where they're saying is the nuance that the medical industry is gonna embark upon. That's a little, to me, is a little alarming. I don't know how you guys feel. Some people are all in. I mean, I feel like from the people that I speak to, it's either all in or not. Like you're either, whoa, no, no, thank you. Or some people are like so excited about the whole AI journey. I'm like, I am so old school when it comes to just like traditional things that it scares me, especially, now that I just explained to you my whole situation with trying to get into my account. But yeah, so some of the things that healthcare trends are going to have right now are personalized care, which are treatments will be more precise and tailored to the individual. So you see how that's the first thing? So on that podcast that I had watched about all the healthcare professionals that were sitting around talking, it was almost like a recorded meeting. So they were talking about having a more personalized healthcare experience because now instead of one person trying to come up with a catered plan for each person's file, their medical history, coming up with one person, a human being going through all of these files and maybe coming up with human error or whatever. Now they're going to dump it all into AI. So AI can go through thousands of file cases and come up with a catered plan for thousands in the matter of a minute, opposed to a person who can only handle like 20 in an 8-hour day. Like, I got what they were saying about efficiency, but now you're leaving all of the communications and everything up to AI, which is exactly what I'm struggling with right now with the metaverse, with Facebook. One time, let me read what you said, Bo. One time years ago, a Facebook friend of mine asked me for Facebook's phone number because the company is located here. They don't advertise it. I couldn't find it. That was about 10 years ago. Huh. I'm sure there's no, yeah, I would love to have a phone number to call in and be like, what the actual, do I have to fly somewhere so you can see my face and like that is my account? Like literally, I was like, "What do you need from me? Can we FaceTime?" That's what I put in one of my emails back to the metaverse is, "Can we FaceTime so you can see that it's me and that is my account?" Like, what's that? What's good? It's really frustrating. But I'll have to put some clips up of that podcast episode that I did with oh, thank you. I know. Episode 30. Let's go. We made it to 30, you guys. But I'll have to put the clips up of that meeting that was being had between all of the medical industry professionals talking about the new 2025 rollout for AI takeover for the medical industry. And they're like talking about how excited they are. It's going to be so much more efficient and the workflow so much better. They can get to more patients and more patients can get seen quicker. I get it. I totally get it. But on the other end of things, as a customer, client, patient, whatever, and I'm on the other side trying to fight the AI right now is so frustrating, you guys. It has literally been so frustrating trying to get into my account. So here's some more things that the healthcare industry is saying that it's going to roll out in 2025. So it says the first thing is what I told you already. They're very excited about treatments being more precise and tailored to the individual because the AI is going to be able to pretty much monitor, go over the entire history of one person's medical history and come up with a tailored, detailed plan for them on their health and the wellness journey, come up with a tailored plan in thousands in seconds. So, like, it's efficient. I get it. But my concern is are we going to be just like lost in the metadata like Facebook and Instagram is now? So, people will have easier and faster access to health information and medical services. Kind of like the whole AI thing. Holistic care will focus on both physical and mental well being. I like how that's the shortest thing on here. Holistic care. Care will focus on both physical and mental well being. I hope I'm going to click on that one after I read this list off. And then proactive management. Employers. Okay, we just talked about that about 10 minutes ago. Employers will implement wellness programs to prevent chronic conditions like diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, which I think is fantastic as long as that is a holistic approach and not what it said at the very top, which was the best cost-effective medication care. No, let's not do that. I'm hoping there's a big enough wave happening for people going into the holistic measure and knowing that your body is fully capable of healing itself from the inside out if you allow it the grace to do so. And a lot of that is just putting all of that processed packaged food in your body, which is tearing it down, destroying your gut, your microdome. So many of our ailments are from our gut, is from our ecosystem in your gut. It's just constantly being destroyed. It never has a chance to heal up. So it leads to a lot of chronic disease. So keeping your gut clean and healthy, putting some like probiotics in there, which you can get through Greek yogurt. You can get through cheese cultures like cottage cheese. There's several ways. Flaxseed. There's several ways to do it, but not taking a medication for it. That's a no. That's a hard no. Okay, so proactive management, behavioral health care, which there will be a greater focus on personalization, navigation, and measurement on behavioral health care. AI and machine learning. There will be more AI tools. I like how they put that down here at like number what, 5 or 6, but really that was the main focus that they talked about in that roundtable with all the medical professionals. There will be more AI tools to help with documentation, communication, and order entry. hmm Communication is going to be handled by AI and order entry. So, like, if an order's wrong, so now you're going through AI and it's not a real person. So now you're not getting that same kind of personal care. You're not getting that, you know, that kindness, compassion, the things that make us human to human. So I don't know. I'm very worried about it. Wearable technology. Wearable devices will be used to improve health and wellness, which I am not against wearable devices. I like my Apple Watch. I like when people that I train, like my clients that have, because I can constantly keep a track of the oxygen they got coming in. I can keep track of their heart rate in real time. So I'm not opposed to those things. It's mainly the AI stuff. Telehealth services will expand, which they have to because there's just not enough time in a day to see that many people in office. So, I mean, I can see where the telehealth thing, actually like telehealth because it's quick, it's convenient. A lot of times you don't really need to drive in somewhere. Now you're like wasting gas, wasting your time to go all the way there just to get, hey, can you look at this real quick? Is this something to worry about? So I'm all for that telehealth part of things, but yeah, the AI controlling the communication, like, specifically, is where I fall short on backing this whole program, this whole new 2025 health rollout. I mean, no. Like, no. Anybody in my personal life right now that knows all of that I have been going through with trying to get back into my main Facebook page, it's a hard no on the AI. 71% AI, you guys, with Meta. I can't. Okay, so the wellness trends are sleep hygiene. People will use sleep trackers and establish consistent bedtime routines is something that they're going to start pushing more of, which when have we not heard we need sleep? Like, I don't think that's anything new or to like ring the bell over. People will incorporate short, intentional actions into their daily habits to cope with stress and anxiety. I like this thing. This is called micro practices. This is one of my favorite things because just like what we've talked about. Wait, where is it on here? Diverse workplace? No, right here. The micro. Oh, what did I just do? The micro practices. That's what I was talking about. When you're at work and you've been sitting for an hour, like I'm on this podcast, you see me constantly adjusting myself. Your body is not supposed to be sitting like that for that long, especially if you're in a chair where your legs aren't touching the floor flat, your feet aren't touching the floor flat. Now you're cutting off that circulation in the back of your legs because now you're putting too much pressure on that hamstring back there. So now you're not, your feet might start tingling, you might start feeling a little, ugh, and your legs might start have shooting pains because you're constantly got leg pressure on that back of your leg, and now you're causing these shooting pains, and you're sitting funny because you are trying to, like, compensate for a pain here and a pain there. So now you're sitting funny, so then your back starts tightening up, and when you only have one side of your back tightening up and not the other side, now the part that's tightening up is affecting your hips. So now your hips are going to be off kilter. So when you go to walk, some people might have a little weird step in their walk, kind of like a little swag, little peg leg, if you will, because your hips are tight. So to get all of that in check, you don't have to do what they're saying, like, oh, they're going to implement these things at work and they're supposed to help you, but then they're talking about medication management. No, you're not going to medication. What you're going to start doing at work every hour, get up, go take a walk to the bathroom, go walk around the building, do something like that, stretch, just standing up and stretching all the way up to the sky, like I said before, down as far as you can, getting a nice stretch. I would hold it all the way up to the sky. I would hold like 15-second stretches. This is what I do with my clients that have come in because they have sciatica, or they come in because they got lower back pain, neck pain, they got arthritis, they just got all of these ailments. And I get rid of all of those ailments simply by stretching. And I get them to tell their doctor that we've been stretching, do the test, and get them off whatever the pain management medication that they put them, kills your organs. So you stand up, you reach up, and really to get rid of the carpal tunnel and the arthritis and the sciatica, reaching all the way out, standing all the way out, hands like we talked about earlier, and just stretching, head all the way up, getting that nice deep stretch, rotating those shoulders back, getting full posture. And just really what you're doing is surging all of the spinal fluids and oxygen and blood in between the vertebrae so it can start healing all those ailments. And the same thing with your hips, taking your leg and putting up over. If you guys haven't already, go to @KaraChris. You have to put the @ KaraChris TV if you're not there right now, and subscribe. I'm uploading more of my stretching videos and stuff like that. This is how you are going to stay out of the pain element and really start to give back to your body. Your body will thank you. You don't have to come out and roll out a whole 2025 every 4 days a week, 30-minute workout, anything. I am a very big advocate on utilizing the little bit of time that you do have and being productive with that. So 4-minute workouts that I have that if you want to do those at home, maybe before you even get ready for work, it's a 4-minute workout. It's called Tabata, Tabata. Look those workouts up. They're amazing. They're efficient. They're effective. They get your blood flow. They get your circulation going. They get your heart rate up, and the heart starts pumping, all of that. And it's all levels can do this. And it's only 4 minutes. But while you're at work, not supposed to be sitting down that long. It's not healthy for your body. And if you're not one that has one of those nifty walkers at work, and it's actually very hard. I tried to do it, and you got to utilize a lot of parts of your brain, typing, focusing, and walking at the same time. But if you don't have one of those nifty things, all you got to do is stand up, get a little walk around the office or walk around the building or go up the stairs once and come back down and stretch. Literally, I told you about the stretching with the tendons. If you got arthritis and you got carpal tunnel, touching your fingers together like that and holding it, pressing it. Try to do it for 10 if you can only do it for 5 seconds, and then shake it out. And then do that 4 or 5 times. And then the same thing with opening up your arms all the way open with the hand folded back flat, really stretching out all the tendons across your chest. Because those tendons are the things that tighten up real tight, and then they start to curl your fingers up, and then it becomes a task for your fingers to operate properly. It's all stretching. Will alleviate that. And it's not a lot of stretching. You just do a couple minutes of stretching, and then you're in the zone. You're good to go. And then you don't have those problems. Standing all the way up to the sky. If you are a little bit wobbly on your feet and have a little bit of balance issues, go in the hallway or go into the bathroom at work. Put your butt up against the wall. Stretch all the way up, back against the wall, stretch all the way up with your butt against the wall, and then bend over and arch your back over, like hunching over, and touch down as far as you can on your legs. And then all the way back up again, same kind of thing, and then hunch all the way back over. So now what you're doing is stretching those muscles, expanding that vertebrae, and getting a good stretch in your lower back, in your hips. Cross one leg over the other leg, and then do that stretch. And now you're on that one side of your hip, and then the same thing for the other side. Cross it over, do that same stretch all the way up and back down, holding it as long as oh my gosh, it feels so good. Your lower back will thank you. Your hips will thank you. Your legs, you get the restless leg syndrome because you've been sitting all day, and then you go sit in your car to drive home, and then you might be on your feet for maybe like an hour or so, and then you're sitting down watching TV, and then you're sitting down some more, and then you're going to bed. So then at night while you're in bed, you're getting these restless leg syndrome where it's like, your legs are achy and sharp pains and you can't sleep because all you did was doing the sitting motion, and your body isn't meant to sit like that. You're not meant to sit like that for that long. I mean, you're meant to sit like that. I mean, that would be weird if, we don't sit ever, but You're meant to sit like that, but not for long periods of time. I'm telling you, just doing those simple little tweaks will save you in the end. And at night, because you're not going to get good sleep if you don't have the blood flow, the blood that you get when you're stretching. When you stretch, you're surging all of that oxygen and that blood flow through the legs and getting that lactic acid out, so it's not just sitting there and clumping up and just causing inflammation. So, doing these little tiny tweaks, like getting up and just moving your body, you don't want to have your employer coming in and implementing, oh, you're having I can see this being a thing if this is what they're trying to say. Sorry, I'm like trying to move around. Talking about all this stretching, I'm like, oh, I need to stretch. Yeah, my back's starting to tighten up. But if this is what they're trying to say about implementing the things at work, right? Where they're saying, like what we saw over here, whoops, was implementing this stuff at work where you're going to right here have more focus on wellness programs at work, and then at the bottom where it says to find cost-effective medication management. No, don't do that. If they I can see where the health industry might be like, oh, we're really missing out on catering our new drugs that we came up with if we could just get them into the workplace and for people that have all these ailments. And now they're going to up their billion-dollar industry with even more money because now they're implementing this health thing and all of the businesses. Don't do it. Don't do it. Your body is capable. You are capable of letting your body have what it needs to fix itself. And that is by simple things. I've had clients from all across the board coming in and leaving my presence feeling so much better and getting off of their medications and feeling even more astounding about life. They're like, okay, now I'm living. Now I'm living life. I'm feeling good. I'm off these medications that are making me feel icky and giving me all these issues with my gut and my liver and my pancreas and my um all the ailments. Kidneys. Sorry, I was getting there. Really, I'm not telling you because it's my opinion. I'm telling you because I have had clients all across the board, and this is what I do with nutrition and wellness and fitness. It is what I do to help you live your life from the best way on the inside out. People used to think when I started training and really getting to this field, what pills are you taking? What shots are you taking? What this, what that? I mean, and granted, this was 20 years ago, and all the Ozempics and stuff like that weren't out, but it was simply me learning about my body and learning that my body is so beautiful and capable of healing itself. It's so intricate and intelligent. I just wasn't giving it the space. So going from 200 and well, I think the max was 210, but 210 pounds to 140 just from changing what I ate, how I ate, when I ate, giving back to my body, stretching more, feeling so much better, literally from the inside out, just from tweaking my foods, starting to give back to my body, working out a little bit more. At first, I wasn't. I was just switching my foods up. I think it started with started it with like a, what is it? The cleanse, the juice cleanse. And I was like, I cannot with the juice. I would rather just not. It was like I did a 3-day juice cleanse. I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And then I went into a 5-day juice. Juice is actually a juice cleanse but if that's what's going to get you there, then by all means. I think the biggest thing that it did was help me to get over the oral fixation of putting food in my mouth. That was the biggest thing I think the juice cleanse did. But on a 5-day juice cleanse, it was like, I mean, obviously you're getting some nutrients from the vegetables and the fruits that are in the juices, but the biggest thing I feel like it did for me was getting past my oral fixation so I could go into an intermittent fasting realm. But 5 days, so the 5-day cleanse, I was like, "Oh gosh," I was so over drinking the juice. I started mainly just fasting because I was like, "Well, if I'm gonna commit to the juicing, but I don't wanna drink the juice, I'm just not gonna drink anything or eat anything." And that's when I started seeing rapid changes to the way my body was feeling and the way my mind was feeling. I went like, I think it was 24, it was the first time I had done like 24 hours without any food or drinking anything. Or I was drinking water, but that was it. But without any food, 24 hours. And I was like, what is happening? Why am I thinking so clearly? I am like firing on all cylinders. I am feeling good. Like I have so much energy. This is really weird because I haven't eaten in 24 hours. And before that, it was 3 days on just juice. So that's when I started diving into what is this about? Why am I feeling this way off of not having food? So then that's when I got into learning all about that fasting life and the intermittent fasting and how fascinating it was to know, it's kind of like going back to the roots, right? You're just going back to the roots of, they call it feast and famine. Some people will call that now. So it's just going back to the roots of what your body was built to do, how it was built to operate, and how intelligent it is with fighting off disease and infection and all, if you give it the space to do that and you're eating whole foods and natural foods and not all this processed stuff that's going in and killing your microdome in there. It's like all of the things that is seems like it's like, really? That's so like basic knowledge. You feel kind of like a dummy at the end, like, wow, duh. No wonder my body is breaking down and I'm tired all the time and lethargic and I don't have energy and I'm packing on all this weight. And I mean, 210 pounds to 140 pounds is nothing to sneeze about. I mean, I literally went through a phase where I'm like, I'm deleting every photo of these. I'm so disgusting at this point in my life. And I really do wish that I did not do that, honestly, because I want, I was so ashamed of being in that space. And I was so ashamed of allowing myself to have gotten there. But when your life goes into trauma and, our little girl getting diagnosed with cancer, you never know how you're going to respond. And I think that situation creating an eating fest, it was like eating for, because it was a quick fix, right? They say when you eat something really delicious and yummy and full of flavors that you get a dopamine rush that lasts about 15 minutes and then it's gone. So what happens then? It's almost like a heroin or a crack addict, right? And I am going to compare it to food. And I do absolutely mean that because it is an addiction. It's one that you really have to focus on not doing, because what happens with too much drugs, it can kill you. What happens with too much of the wrong food, it can kill you slowly, but it can still kill you. So it is an addiction. And when you learn about the body and how that works, that's why I got my so many licenses and degrees and all of the things that I'm in with your body and the skincare and the fitness world and the wellness and the nutrition and all of the things I started learning after that, because I was so intrigued about how optimized my body was from not putting food in. I'm not trying to say just stop eating and don't ever eat again. Obviously, that's not where I'm going at. I'm just saying that life throws you curveballs sometimes and you don't know how you're going to handle it. And it's okay if you fall off the wagon and the wagon's still going. You can choose to get back on it. And I know that when my husband and I both decided, like, we can't, our daughter fought for her life through cancer. How are we to say we can't get in better shape and fight off these urges and cravings to get that next quick fix, that next dopamine rush from eating food? You can also 1,000,000% get that same dopamine rush in such a more positive way. And that's without eating food. When your body hits that 19th hour of, of fasting, your body surges up all of the, oh my gosh, it feels so amazing. You feel like, oh my gosh, I need I literally, once I started intermittent fasting and doing more of like a 19, 24-hour, 36-hour fast, I popped up so many new business ideas. And okay, now I have a skincare line, which I actually did. And then I started a channel for my daughter who loves baking and cooking for kids. And then I started another site for, all of my website. And I just like, because you're firing on all cylinders, and that is so much more of a beautiful rush than the food, because the food is so short-lived. It's just going to tear you down. It's going to make you feel worse at the end of the day. Then you feel so bad and shameful that you just did that to your body again when you said you weren't. So then it keeps you in this space, right? It's like a vicious cycle to where you're constantly putting yourself in with these high hopes, but because of your urges and because of your low self-esteem and because of your addiction to that food, you fall back into the pattern, and then you're just left feeling like helpless, worthless, and sick of yourself. You're sick and you're disgusted and you're just feeling. That's why I went through that whole, I'm like, I'm deleting all these photos. Like, I'm so disgusting and it's such a disgraceful time. And how did I let myself get that? But what I wasn't doing is what I try and preach now, which is give yourself some grace. We are all just human. We all make mistakes. We all fall off sometimes, but it's about lifting each other up, and most importantly, lifting yourself up and saying, I'm worthy of having this. I'm worthy. I can do this. I can do it. You just got to find other things. That's what I found. I got to find other things. When I'll find I've literally had an Oreo cookie in my mouth, chocolate chip cookie, Doritos, any of that. I've literally had it in my mouth before. And then I'm like, nope, not today, Satan. And throw that thing right back down. Like, it's not, I don't even keep it in the house anymore, not even for the kids, because it's not good for them. I know that I'm sure that my teenagers are going and sneaking somewhere just to get their stuff in. And that's fine. They're teenagers, whatever. But I can't leave it in the house. It's not, well, now I'm so much better. I mean, it's many, many years past now. But still, you're human. You can fall off the wagon, and that's okay. Just get back on. It's not a huge daunting thing. You just one little baby step at a time. Cut out certain things out of your day, get on a better pattern, get on a better literally regime of, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm just going to have my coffee, black coffee, don't put any creamer. If you have to put creamer in it and that's going to keep you from eating, then do so. But just go on this journey of small tweaks. Like I say, I try and repeat it endlessly in all of my podcasts. And I say, my type of life coaching is not, I'm going to lead you to the base of this mountain and we're going to stare up at that mountain, and I'm taking you to the top of that mountain. That's not my approach, because for a lot of people that can feel very overwhelming and very daunting. Like, oh my gosh, I have a huge journey ahead of me. Am I up for the task? All that self-doubt and fear start to come in, right? So my approach is more like, here we go. Look at that tiny hill. It's like a little hill. It's like a little molehill. Do you think that we can walk over that together? And then holding that hand, like, we got this. And that person, like, for real? Like, really? Yeah, of course I can do that. Duh. You know, going over that. You think we can do this other little one? Going over that one. Think we could do this other? And just all those little tiny feats causing such a positive reaction and vibration within you, because you're like, dude, I did that no problem. Look at me go. Right? My clients thinking, look at me go. I got over that one with no problem. Next one, I got this. So it gives you those little baby feats of success and championship inside. Like, yes, I did it, rather than, oh, I fall off again. Like, I'm going to self hate and doubt and throw all the shade on myself and, get back into a vicious cycle because this is too much to take on. No, before you know it, looking back, I'm like, okay, I want you to look back now. Look how far we come. And seeing that you're halfway up the mountain already is mind blowing for people. Like, wow, this was so much easier than I thought it was, or that it ever has been. And that's because people are trying to take on too much. You're trying to take on too much. Just one little tiny thing at a time. Today, I want you to think of, I'm going to take an extra little walk around the building, around my house. Maybe you haven't gone on a walk in a long time. Maybe you just go, to a stop sign and back, or a street sign or something like that. and back, and feel proud of that. Don't feel like, "Oh, it wasn't 2 miles." Don't use those terms with yourself. Don't put yourself down. Don't put yourself down. If you did something more than you did yesterday, praise it. No matter what it is. If you did something tiny, even the little tiniest thing, like, you know what? I just stood up while I was listening to your podcast and I was like, let me just try this stretch. If you did that, praise it, because those tiny praises end up leading you to the big praises. You have to praise yourself. Give yourself some grace. People are so hard on themselves. Stop. I know. I was that person. So hard on, and I still catch myself doing it. Like, oh, I'm just struggling. I've been eating this, I haven't been feeling well, so I've just been eating these yummies and I'm down on it. Nope. That's not what we're doing here. We're not. That was so 2024, you guys. This is 2025. We're in a new light and a new element, and this is where we're handling. This is how we're going about it. We are going to stay in the positive praise zone. You're going to give yourself some kudos, even for those tiny things, and be like, "Huh, you know what? Maybe later I'll do another stretch, or I'll do another little walk, or maybe I'll do some up downs while I'm sitting down in my chair on my couch or whatever." And that's just where you stand up and sit back down. Stand up, sit back down. Maybe you want to do 5 of those. And then you're like, I think I could do 6. Once you get started, many people are like in it. Like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Wow, by the time I was done with my episode, I did 25. You know, that's not something to sneeze. That's fantastic. That's so beautiful. That journey is so beautiful. I just feel like people have to give themselves more. Let me get the screen off. Whoops. People have to give themselves more grace because life's a struggle already, right? We got so many things that you can worry about, or it's negative or whatever. That's why it was so important. This book we've been doing, you guys, The Magic. Thank you, Christy, my sister-in-law, who gifted me this beautiful gift of learning how to manifest greatness. And I'm telling you right now, it is a game changer, literally, to approach things. Yeah, you got things that are going to go wrong. But if you stop and say, don't talk about how horrible what or whatever this is bad. But if you stop and say, you know what, it could have been a whole lot worse, because situations can be a whole lot worse. Like, truly, if your situation isn't ending in death or brutal death, it's not that bad. You can get through it. I mean, death is the end all, right? Once you're dead, that's that. I mean, your spirit goes up and you can pray that you did all the right things and you can go to heaven and not burn in hell for eternity. So if it's not that bad in your day, then just give graces to the things that were good, especially if you're trying something new, even if it was only a very short cycle of whatever that was, a stretch, a walk, a workout, whatever. If it's something greater than what you did yesterday, give yourself praise no matter what it is. That is the key to this whole manifestation for 2025. It is really light and like, okay, let me just give a little backstory. So, obviously, gaining all that weight, daughter going through that cancer, watching her resilience was so intriguing for me. Like, this little girl is just smiling. She just had half of her, insides removed, and battling this like always being poked and prodded all throughout the night, and then getting chemo and then radiation and all of these things, this little tiny body. And anytime she's awake, she's smiling and she wants to do, can we play with a balloon while I lay here in my bed, even though she couldn't move too much because she was in such pain, but she still smiled her way through it. It was so beautiful to watch. That inspired me. Like, this little thing fighting for her life, and here I'm complaining about, you know, or I'm doing all of, not complaining. I was always so grateful for God giving her another day. Still am. But then it's like damaging my body with all of the food and all of the things, and not feeling, myself anymore, and losing myself in the process of it. the processed foods of it, the refined sugars of it, and damaging and literally giving my own self health issues for what? Like, there's this little girl here fighting cancer, and and a whole ward actually of children fighting cancer. So it really resonated for me. And I'm like, God, just give me the purpose. I've spent all this time learning about the body and learning about how to help others with all of, my expertise. How do I use this to my best ability to get the message out there on a grand scale, on a bigger platform to help people learn that there are ways to make your life the best it can be without an extra penny, actually saving money and then saving your body and your life in the process, like your mind, your body, your spirit, because it's not just about losing the weight. It's also about what happens on the inside of your body. Your organs are healthier, you're performing better, your brain gets more clarity. You're operating on a whole different level. And it is such a beautiful thing to watch your body if you give it that grace. It really is so cool. So, in the midst of trying to figure out where my space and my place is, and yes, still seeing clients and working with clients, but I'm like, I only have so much time in a day before my children get home from school. I need to be present with them. We got homework, we got after school stuff we're doing. So, being in a space of I want to be a present mother also with my career. How can I do this? So, God really did shine this opportunity down on me with this podcast, which I had really been wanting to do. And I really do appreciate everybody that comes on here and supports this podcast, like truly from the bottom of my heart. So, if you haven't already, please do like or subscribe from whatever arena you're watching this on. And if you know anybody that is trying to get in better shape, or they just need a little motivation or someone to help kind of walk them through, please do share with them my page. I'm going to put most of all my workouts and all of the things, not most of, I'm going to put all of my stuff on my YouTube channel. It's going to be my main, because I'm so over dealing with the whole meta thing with Facebook and Instagram. So YouTube's going to be my main, and X and TikTok. Those are going to be my main platforms. But I'm still going to be on Instagram posting up stuff and catering to that community. But YouTube and X and TikTok, YouTube's going to be my main spot where all my videos and all my stuff. So please go there at Kara Chris TV and do subscribe. It's free to do so. And thank you to those of you that have been donating to my stream, my channel. I am so grateful. Because of you, I'm able to make this dream into a reality, and it really brings my heart with such gratitude. So thank you so much. I know the platforms on X and TikTok do make it easier to do the tipping with the tip jar on X, and then TikTok has its own like sharing the little stickers and stuff. So I appreciate you guys sending those out to me. And on YouTube, this is the little QR code that I have for YouTube. For those of you that do want to donate, I do appreciate it so, so much. And yeah, tomorrow is going to be another fun episode. We are actually going to talk about some more, I guess, female based things tomorrow. We're going to be talking about all those tips and tricks that, well, guys too, that, you know, getting your skin and your wrinkles in check and giving you that healthy, youthful glow. For those of you that do not know about my skincare line, it is all natural, 100% pure, non toxic, organic. I have a sale going on for Valentine's Day right now. It's karachristiansen.com. That's Christ, ENSEN.com. And I do my little timeless tonic where you shake it up just throughout the day. Spray it all around just for some extra hydration and some moisture protection. And then I have my eye serum, which you just take this right here, roll it up under the eye like so on both sides. Even if people have like little smoker lines, you go up around the lip and then just pat it in. just like that. It's very handy. You keep it in your purse, your bag, whatever. Guys use this too. I made this for everybody for Christmas. So, guys, too, for both of those things. But it refreshes your skin. It protects it from all the outside barriers, all the things, all the pollutants and stuff in the air. It keeps it nice and hydrated. It has some balancing properties in it that will balance your pH levels, kind of clearing up any lesions or acne. You have acne prone skin or anything like that. That also takes care of that. Helps aid in healing and inflammation. It's really good all around. You can go on my website and learn about it. It's karachristiansen.com. It's on sale right now for the Valentine Day sales. So if whether you're treating someone else or treating yourself, it's on there, and it's the first thing once you go onto karachristiansen.com. It's the first thing that pops up. So go check it out, you guys. I put the little combo pack. It's a three-piece kit that is going to hit on all the needs that you have. And it is something that is all, like I said, 100% organic and plant-based. And it is so good for your skin. I literally constantly spraying my face and trying to keep this youthful glow for as long as I can. But I do appreciate you guys supporting me, supporting the website, buying those products. Also, my daughter started a line. She is doing little lip glosses and scrubs, like a hand scrub. And she's doing that to raise money for the kids in the cancer ward. And she's on Facebook, and it's called Caroline's Cosmetics. Caroline's is spelled Cara, like my name, Caralines, Caroline's Cosmetics on Facebook. Apparently is Caroline and Lily Lilly. So that is her name on Facebook and Instagram, and she is selling products also 100% organic, handmade, made in the US, all the great stuff. And she's doing it for a cause. All the proceeds go towards her Carowinds Child Cancer Fund. And that is to help raise money to send kids that are in the cancer ward here that are able to do so to Carowinds theme park, which is our local theme park, and send them with their loved ones to have a day filled of fun and joy and laughter, because no one deserves it like these little kids fighting for their lives. So any support you guys want to offer for that cause, I know she would be so excited. She's going to be filming her little videos later to thank people that have already bought her products. So I'm very excited to share that with you. I hope that you guys can find it in your heart to want to donate to her. Even if you're not purchasing something, people are going to donations for Caroline's Cosmetics 2025 on Venmo. I believe it's Venmo. Yeah. Caroline's Cosmetics 2025. And that's Caralines. It's just like my name, Kara. But yeah, it's really beautiful. She knows what it was like to be in that cancer ward and fighting for her life and not getting to do anything fun because you can't be around, a lot of places with germs, and you're just not feeling like it because you did cancer treatments, and she was going through so much. So I think it's so beautiful that now she's 4 years cancer free, coming up on 4 years cancer free. And she has this big beautiful heart of wanting to also send other children to Carowinds because it's her favorite place. So if you guys want to support that, I'll actually put some links in the comments below this video. Once I post it up, I'll put the links to her page and the link to her donation page. I know that she would really love to get the support from you guys, and it's all for a good cause. You'll be helping send a little girl or boy and their loved ones to Carowinds for the day and get to ride some rides and have a fun-filled day give a little break up to the monotony of all of the sadness and ailments that they have to struggle through on a daily basis fighting for their lives. So that's my 2 cents on that. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, please do like, follow, subscribe. I'm going to be putting all the stuff main page, which is going to be YouTube, and that's at Kara Chris TV. I will see you guys on here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I look forward to getting to know you better. And thank you so much for joining the stream and supporting. And I really, 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 truly mean that. The gratitude is beyond. So big, so big. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. It'll be Friday. Let's go. All right. Thanks, Bo. Thanks, Hal, for being here. I always appreciate you guys chiming in and helping me make sure that my mic is on and that I'm actually live. Very important things. So I appreciate you guys so much. Until tomorrow.